Nigeria is the biggest curse that South Africa has ever had. I feel like we are fighting a losing battle in trying to get other Africans to understand where we come from, because they just don't want to. It's not a matter of them even trying to, they don't care, first of all, about South Africa. Second of all, the truth is that they would love to see South Africa fail. When Donald Trump said he's going to attack South Africa, they were the first people to celebrate. So all in all, we are being forced to accept people in our country that hate us. That's the honest truth. There's no xenophobia in South Africa. They know that. They just do not like South Africans. And why do they not like South Africans? Because we are doing better than they are. Because we have a backbone, we can stand up for ourselves. Because we are not weak like they are. Because we have pride, something they don't have. We know where our rights take us. So that's why I'm saying we're gonna do 50,000 of these lives, 50,000 of them. We can even try and be humble and beg and grovel and say whatever. They just are not willing to hear us. I think this is something I've concluded. These people hate us. And I want South Africans to hear this loud and clear. They hate us. They are here in South Africa trying to replace us. And that's why they grovel at white people and want to be the better slaves. They hate us. They want to see our country fail. They are establishing their own kingdoms because they want to take over this country. That's why they have Igbo kings or whatever that nonsense that they do here. And they are jealous of South Africa. They are jealous of the amount of attention that we get from the rest of the world.
You see, as a South African, having heard what Jacinta said, a lot of people might think she's exaggerating. But listen to me. Jacinta is a South African. I am a Nigerian that lives in Nigeria. So if you cannot believe Jacinta in thinking that she's biased on ground that she may hate Nigerians, now let's see whether you can believe me in Nigeria. Now here's something. Jacinta simply stated that Nigerians hate South Africans. And this hatred comes from envy, bitter hearts, or bitter hearts. Now, I used to think on grounds that as a Nigerian, that it's not a case of hatred, but on grounds that Nigerians go everywhere with the intent to take. So it's not peculiar with a group of people who are the victims. It's not in their thinking of the disadvantages they bring to their victims. It's not in their thinking, it's not in their focus on bringing down their victims, but in the focus of taking from wherever they go to. I used to think it's a general thing, right? So Nigerians are like, what I mean is like, Nigerians are like people that go anywhere in their desperation to survive, right? They get to plunder in a bid to get for themselves and furnish for themselves, right? Now, this is usually inevitably at the expense of other people who are usually their hosts. They victimize them in a bid to get for themselves because it's a natural thing. Once a man is desperate to get for himself, he always does it inevitably, underline the word, inevitably at the expense of other people. So this was exactly what I thought about Nigerians, because they did it in their own society. And that's why Nigeria is the way it is. It's not the government, it's Nigerians as a people. They were taking. So in their bid of forming the nature and the habit of taking, they were creating a government at any point in place. Any portfolio, any person, any Nigerian having any portfolio always has the commonality of the habit of taking, which is inevitably at the expense of other people, right? So I used to think it's like that. But you see, what made me understand that when it comes to Ghana and South Africa, it's actually very unique. It's not about taking for themselves. It's about seeing Ghana and South Africa fail. Let that sink in. It's about seeing South Africa and Ghana fail. Let it sink in. In Ghanaians and South Africans' case, it's not about our nature of always taking, thereby doing it at the expense of other people who are usually the hosts or the victims. It's about our hatred for South Africa. Now the question is how and why. Let's look at the why. Maybe that would answer the how. You see, there's something South Africans don't know, and that is why, you see, my pace, if I was in South Africa, the pace at which Nigerians would have left South Africa, based on my standard, on the pace Nigerians would have left South Africa, I feel South Africans are still sleeping. You guys are still sleeping. You guys are still singing. You guys are still, at your comfort zone. Because like Nigerians are lucky that Jacinta is a girl. I mean, Jacinta is a woman. Let's just say I'm the one alongside Jacinta doing this Dudulala movement. I really don't think Nigerians will be. I really don't think that by now there will be any Nigerian in South Africa. I don't think so, because it seems you people really don't understand the agenda. Now listen very clearly. What South Africans have, it will shock you people, that the reason Nigerians hate and are envious of South Africans is exactly the same reason they mock South Africans, unbelievably. I'm trying to tell you how demonic Nigerians are. And what do I mean? Because South Africans have the privilege of inclusion with people that are very productive in their midst, which means they don't need to travel, just like most African societies travel to have a better life in societies of most of these Westerners that we know are very productive and creative sets of people, right? So South Africans don't need that. South Africans are within the spheres. They are included. In fact, they did the inclusion, because a South African is the president of South Africa. It's real Ramaphosa. If it was a white that is the president of South Africa, I probably would have said, well, South Africans are worshiping white people and all those things. But the situation is, no matter what they say, understand that they cannot hide the fact that a South African is the president of both the white South Africans and the black South Africans. It is a black that presides over them. So that is a lot. Now, here's the situation. The fact that South Africans have these privileges, it's destroying Nigerians. The fact that black South Africans have these privileges, they want to ensure by any means that you people are destroyed or eliminated from such privileges. As long as they can't have it, you South Africans can have it. That is why you South Africans have every reason to quicken your mortal bodies to expel every Nigerian in South Africa.